Am I the asshole for wanting my wedding to be perfect? And #X200B. So, I, 45F, am getting married to my boyfriend, 47M. He has 3 kids, 2 adopted daughters, 25F, 17F, and a biological son, 24M. I love my stepkids a lot, but there's one problem. His youngest is bisexual and has a girlfriend. I don't have any problem with that. But most of my family is homophobic and my boyfriend wants to invite his kids' significant other since they're family. I had a talk about it and he was mad at me for thinking that his youngest's girlfriend shouldn't come because of my family. I tried my best to explain, but he was really stubborn, refusing to not invite her. I got mad at him too, and now we won't talk to each other. Of course, I love my stepdaughter and her girlfriend is really nice, but I'm scared about my family causing a ruckus because of it. You are the asshole. You showing you prioritize your homophonic family over your partners, you show where you stand. Your partner and his kids deserve better. Also, please grow up. Perfect anything doesn't exist. You are the asshole. If anyone shouldn't be going, it's the homophobes. You are the asshole. If anyone should be not getting invited, it's the homophobes. Your stepdaughter and her girlfriend are not the problem here and won't be the ones causing drama. If your family cannot control themselves, then they shouldn't get to come. Talk to them about this before the wedding, then you'll have a gauge on if they'll be assholes to these girls and make your decision about family invites from there. Good on your boyfriend for sticking up for his kid and her girlfriend. You are the asshole, hugely. This will affect your relationship with your stepdaughters because you are showing her that you don't really accept her sexuality because you are not prepared to stand up for her. You are more scared about what random people will think of you than what your stepdaughter will. It says that you excuse homophobia and will allow it to happen to her because you don't want to cause a fuss. You are the asshole. How about instead of not inviting her partner, you don't invite the family that are homophobic? Problem solved. It's what someone who's truly supportive would do. By you suggesting not inviting her girlfriend, your partner has rightly said no to this. Because you are not as okay with her bisexuality as you think you are, pretend to be, because you're putting homophobic family before her. You are the asshole. Seriously. Is this a real question? Should you support your stepchild or should you be a bigot? How is that a question? You are the asshole. If anything, your homophobic family members should be uninvited because they'll be the ones who ruin your day. You are the asshole. Supporting and enabling homophobes makes you a homophobe. Also, not inviting your stepdaughter's girlfriend will completely destroy your relationship with her. Why don't you care about that? Why is your priority on appeasing a bunch of bigots? If that's a perfect wedding to you, then you're a terrible person. Honestly, if I were your partner, I'd very much be reconsidering marrying you at this point. You are the asshole. Deferring in favor of the homophobic family members instead of your boyfriend's children? Sorry, you are the asshole. I know you are trying to keep the peace, however, it should be your family who bites their tongue. It's you and your fiancé's day. He wants his daughter there, and to exclude her because of her sexuality, it's wrong and create such animosity as to break the family before it starts. You are the asshole, of course. You're letting your family's bigotry go unchallenged and excluding your husband's child from your wedding. You are a terrible person. Wanting the perfect wedding is never an excuse for cruelty. Of course your fiancé is pissed at you. This is his daughter. If you actually want to marry this man, admit you were very wrong to want this and humbly apologize to him. And if you were stupid and cruel enough to let her find out about your feelings about this, apologize even more humbly to his daughter. If your family is really so homophobic they would cause a scene at the wedding, don't invite them. It's really okay if bigots suffer social consequences for their bigotry. The victims of bigotry should always be included at the expense of the bigots. YTA for prioritizing the wrong people. This your soon-to-be husband's child. I think she's a little more important than your non-immediate family. Doesn't sound like she's the problem in the first place. You said it yourself. Her and her girlfriend are nice people. Your relatives? Not so much. If they're not capable of being mature enough to keep their opinions to themselves for one night for the sake of another person's wedding, then they are not mature enough for adult interactions and should not be invited on grounds that they won't behave themselves. Greater than I tried my best to explain, but he was really stubborn. Oh honey. Our wedding wouldn't be perfect without my homophobic family. Let's instead insult your daughter. That's how I want to start this marriage off perfectly. You are the asshole. It's sad that you would consider this a perfect wedding, if it's forcing your daughter to hide who she is. Saying that your youngest stepdaughter should not invite her girlfriend so that the rest of your family can live their unaccepting lives in peace is just telling her that she should hide who she is in order to make other people happy. You're essentially saying that your family has more of an acceptable stance than she does and she should bow to it. It will send a terrible message and, to be honest, if you don't accept that side of her enough to fight for it, then you don't accept her completely. You are the asshole. If you invite your stepdaughter's girlfriend and there's a scene, it won't have been the girlfriend who made your wedding less than perfect, it will be your homophobic relatives. Beyond that, what's your plan long-term here? Hide the girlfriend forever by not inviting her to any function your family is also attending. By not including your stepdaughter's girlfriend, you are starting off your marriage by telling your stepdaughter you see some part of her as shameful and worth hiding from your family. That might give you the perfect wedding day, but it is not how you start a perfect marriage, which is the more important thing. You are the asshole. I agree with other comments saying that if anyone should be excluded it's the homophobes. You are the asshole. Don't cave to homophobia. You are the asshole 1. For differentiating between biological and adopted children. It's irrelevant 2. For putting homophobes before the child's significant other 3. For thinking it's preferential to invite people likely to abuse other guests than a nice girl based on the fact she has a GF4. Because you sound homophobic yourself. Invite the girlfriend and uninvite the bigot family members. Problem solved. You are the asshole. I don't understand how a bisexual couple is going to ruin your wedding. If your family doesn't understand how to behave at a wedding or out in public, don't invite them. You are the asshole. At 45, you should know by now that 1. Perfect doesn't exist and 2. Hiding people is rude. Why is family in quotes? I'm glad he's getting a heads up on what joining your family will be like. What happens on holidays or other family celebrations? You are the asshole, and your family, if they cause issues, are assholes. The solution to a problem like this is not to cut off the person who is completely innocent in all of this, the daughter. If you're so concerned about your family, then you need to have a talk to your family. As a final piece of advice, no one day is perfect, and certainly not weddings. Don't put so much pressure on the day, to try and control everyone else's behavior like that, it's not realistic. If your fiancé's kids all get to bring their partners, and your family manages to not say anything about it, then that's a win in my book. Spuns like you are afraid of your family acting out, not the stepdaughter or her girlfriend. Maybe disinvite your family instead if they can't behave decent. You are the asshole. Tell your family that if they can't keep their mouth shut, then they are unwelcome. Never side with the bigots, or that makes you just as bad as them. You're not shielding or protecting the daughter. You're telling her that your dreams of a beautiful wedding are more important than her getting basic human respect. Shame on you. I want my wedding to be perfect. You're in your fucking 40s and haven't learned life can't be perfect yet. Nobody can help you unless you learn to help yourself and let go of what you cannot control. I am sorry for being harsh, but by this age you should get that it's not going to go your way even most of the time, let alone sometimes. There's a peace and tranquility in accepting that. If you can't, you are creating stories in your head others can't hold up to. Get some counseling. Gentle, you are the asshole. This is your wedding. Everyone there is to celebrate you two marrying. If they don't like certain guests, it's not your problem. Let's say one of the adopted children was another race and your family was racist. Would you expect them to grow up and accept that it's your family, or would you try to make peace? Bridezilla YTA. You are the asshole. So you're so concerned with coddling the poor homophobes that you would ban your stepdaughter's girlfriend, the person she might marry at some point, from the wedding. Don't be surprised if your stepdaughter never speaks to your homophobic behind again. I know I wouldn't. And #X200B. Edit. And how do you expect things to go in the future then? Do you plan on forcing your stepdaughter back in the closet every time your family comes around? Or just force her back in the closet period, just so you can keep the peace with the homophobes? Do you even realize what that would be asking of her? Normally I still feel it's your wedding, so your choice in guests. But you are both holding this wedding and there seems to be a stalemate here. YTA still. If anyone should be on that wedding, it is going to be his children. If other people have a problem with that, well, that's tough. If you like the person, invite them. If your other guests don't like this person, that is their problem. Otherwise I wouldn't be surprised you are going to get a lot colder responses from that daughter for singling her out like that. Again, your call. Don't let your family decide who to come or not. You like them, give them the invite. You are the asshole. It is your family at fault, not your poor stepdaughter and her partner. If your family are so bigoted and homophobic that they won't enjoy celebrating a marriage because of the presence of an entirely innocent young lady, then they need to be disinvited, not her. You are the asshole. You've chosen homophobic people over your children. Your idea of a perfect wedding is cutting out the people you think aren't perfect. You're an awful person. You are the asshole. This is all on your family. Perhaps you're underestimating them? If not, they suck. My sis married 15 years ago and we have a good number of gay couples as friends. Late into the reception, one male couple and one female couple were among the folks slow dancing. My 70-year-old mountain man looking semi-hillbilly uncle looked at me and said, "I don't think those couples are joking." I said, "They're not. Both couples are married." He took a sec to process, shrugged, and said, "Oh, that's cool." If the biggest beast of a scary-looking weird church-attending maniac like Uncle Ed was chill, your family can be chill. Shooting star bonus quote from A Different Wedding, Uncle Ed to his ex-brother-in-law who he hadn't seen in 40 years, "Hey, Joe. Last time I seen you, you had a gun to my head." You are the asshole. Way to write a misleading title. Shouldn't your teenage stepdaughter's opinion be more important to you than a bunch of homophobes' opinions? Listen, I understand that homophobes cause drama. You don't want that for your wedding. I get it. You can't choose your family. Tough shit. Hire security. You are the asshole. Info: how are you different from your family? Clearly you want the same things. You are the asshole. You want your wedding to be perfect, fine. You know who else probably wants their wedding to be perfect? The person you're marrying. If you actually cared about these people like you say you do, you would stick up for them instead of hiding them. They are about to be your family and you're acting like you're ashamed of them. Condoning bigots is as bad as being one. You are the asshole. You are putting homophobic family members ahead of your stepchild. I hope he cancels the wedding and leaves your ass. You are the asshole big time. You are the asshole. Weddings are supposed to be celebration of love and anyone who can't contain their hate rooted in bigotry has no place being in a wedding, as a guest or otherwise. You do realize you're siding with homophobes and it doesn't look good, no? You are the asshole. They're his family and yours doesn't get to dictate who his children bring. You are the asshole. You're no different than your family. Shame on you. You are the asshole because you're showing you care more about not offending your homophobic family than you are about the child who is about to become your son. You are the asshole. How, pray tell, will your wedding be perfect if your partner is unhappy, your stepdaughter's partner is absent, and a bunch of homophobes are there? I'm glad that he is learning that you would prioritize homophobia over his family now, so that he can decide to prioritize his family and his kids over your comfort with intolerance and homophobia, and rethink this partnership. You are the asshole had I been him, is call off the wedding. I'd refuse to be with someone who chooses homophobia over my kid. So your wedding will be perfect if your soon-to-be husband is upset at you deliberately hurting his daughter in order to pacify homophobes. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. This would be a deal-breaker for me. Put someone in charge of kicking out anyone who says anything homophobic, then there won't be any drama and your wedding can be free of hateful bigots. Then again, it would seem that would equate to the wedding also being free of you, so there's that. You are the asshole. You da asshole. You're 45 years old and you are so scared of what your closed-minded relatives will think that you are willing to alienate your soon-to-be stepchildren? You are the asshole. You are the asshole 100%.